here we are, waiting for the lights for the 1988 Mexico Grand Prix that's been held in Buenos Aires because of lack of mods. I'm gonna be honest, that's pretty awkward official title name for this race, but yeah, what can you do? We start off the race by giving Alberto a little tap, bump and run. Very short run to the first corner here at Buenos Aires, so it's going to get tight. This is a relatively tight course, not extremely wide, and a bit twisty. So a strange replacement for Mexico, which track in Mexico City, being a good bit different to this. That being said, Buenos Aires number 15, I think, is actually remarkably close in character to Mexico City, but for purposes of racing against AI, I think it's a little goofy. So we'll race on one of the shorter versions, which I believe was actually used for a Grand Prix in the 90s, perhaps. I think it was. Whenever the Argentinian Grand Prix was last held, so well, Richard getting his own back with a bit of bumping. But to be honest, like probably most people, I don't know much about the history of the Argentinian Grand Prix. It's one of those ones that you're not surprised it's there, but you don't know much about it either, yeah? And we just lost the position there. 2 positions there. So we went way too wide in that corner and left the door right open. So after 1 lap, we've only lost 1 position. I'll take that as a win. That's a bit of a lock-up. That got hairy. That was an unintentional dive bomb. Not going to be able to make a stick for one of those positions, but we did get past the Benetton. So for less locking up, we do have 16 more laps of this track. So I prefer not to destroy the tyres in the first 2. Vibrations are not nice. This isn't a smooth track. It's not too bumpy. I'd like to keep it that way. I don't feel like having my desk shook apart by some flat spots. Ooh, a bit wide there. That's definitely one of the corners where you can actually feel the aero push from following behind other cars. I don't know if it's placebo or what, but I swear there's something going on there when you're following cars that you just get push. Like, it's easy flash on your own, but for some reason you get understeer when following. Well, I know the reason's obvious. Dirty air and all of that. But it's not actually that noticeable often in Sims. It's just kind of cool when it actually becomes a thing. That was half a lap talking about an effect which only applies to 1 corner and isn't that much of an effect anyway. This bodes well. Front group seems to have gotten away. Yeah, Prost is pulling away, but there seems to be a decent battle between everyone else. It seems to be what's happening with this mod is that the Lotus, Williams, Benettons and Ferraris are actually quite competitive, and you usually get a good race between them. And the McLaren seem to vary widely, actually, surprisingly widely. You know, typically one of them will win, but it seems that they don't win in the 1-2 style that they did in the actual season. It seems one of them will have a bad qualifying, one of them will have a good qualifying, it seems, so far. For example, Prost was on pole and Senna was in 14th after qualifying. We could throw that down to, you know, Senna having some sort of reliability problem in qualifying, but I don't know. It seems odd, but you know, we'll embrace it. This alternate history of 1988. At least it gives us a chance. You know, the best of the rest. And the Williams weren't exactly the best of the rest. So they had it kind of worked. Kind of weren't. As I said, it's sort of a toss-up between everyone else. No one really cared about any of the other teams in 1988. Technically Ferrari, you could argue, won the best of the rest that year in real life, having, you know, being the only other team to win a race. It was just one race, but they'll take it, and of course denied McLaren the chance to have the perfect season. Oh, is that pressure goes straight on? That's a freebie. They're not the most useful freebie because we could have used them to try bridge up. Oh, and another Ferrari goes off. Ferraris. What? I'm going to put that down to mostly coincidence, but interesting and funny coincidence. Though it has gifted us 2 spaces, which will put us in a 5th, I believe. So, at least we got 1 position buffer in the points. That sense didn't make sense, but you get what I'm meaning. We're not the last man getting points here. So the way Butison is driving, we could be. We may have gotten past him relatively easy, but he's not letting go, and we're not pulling away. He seems to have our pace. Let's see if we can get back up to his teammate. Ooh, it's too far. Try to break a 50 board, you can't break it 50 board there. Try to get it back into gear. I would have actually managed to hold on to that had I not put it in neutral and seemed to not notice for a second. Jeez, everyone's losing the run themselves that lap. 2 Ferraris going straight on, and I missed out braking and then put it into neutral. So the chase regains, we drift out wide again, doing an Albrecht here. And then Berger Basque. I'll try holding on the inside, though we got grass on the wheels. He's got grass on his wheels. Everyone's got grass on the wheels. Everyone's just like, screw the track. We're going rally crossing. Who needs F1? Alright, let's try hold it back together again. We got Piquet, who somehow got his way up the field. Got his well way up the field. Jesus Christ. Can't drive, can't talk. What are you here for? So this probably is going to just develop into a race for the last point. Front group, but most of the point scorers must be well clear of us by now, and Prost is probably already lapping people. Actually going to be interested to see if Senna can make his way up here. He may have qualified down in 14th, but it is Senna in the McLaren. He should definitely have the race pace to get ahead of practically everyone in front of him. It's just a question is, will he have enough laps to do it in? Different way of doing turn 1. I don't think it worked. I feel turn 1 is faster than it is, but I can't find a way of making it work. Right. It feels like you should be able to do it in second, but second just feels, you know, you're not carrying enough speed through to pull off second. Bit of a Mickey Mouse section there, but that'll make it look cool. Curves can be also quite tricky. There's a lock up into this corner again, which really is a Mickey Mouse section. It doesn't even look cool. I prefer to use the alternate layout for that last sector, but alas, we don't have that AMS. Too much of a tap. Spin it around. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. This is being a Grand Prix to remember. As in, I mean, forget. Well, come on. Should be able to be nearly blasted by these guys in a straight line speed. Yeah, that was relatively easy. It's kind of impressive how we haven't completely dropped these guys actually. I think it's a sign of how much we're tripping over ourselves as I trip over him again. And again another bomb from behind. All very useful. That guy just killed my run. On the outside here. That's a dangerous move. Shouldn't have thought about it. You don't go around the outside there. Because you try that and suddenly you find there's no room. I will brake at a sensible point this time. With dirt being thrown up to the sideways. Can be tricky trying to get the power down coming out of those corners. Jesus Christ, guys. I am just not on it, am I? Gee, I'm rusty. Yeah, it says it's been a race for the bumping. If I keep this up, I'm just going to get jumped in the paddock, am I? Need to make sure I've got enough legs to run to the bus. Hammer gun. When I'm driving like shite, the Lipton T cars are actually on pace with me. They saw a sign that I'm driving like shite. So hopefully if I get good again we should be able to pass Capelli in front of us. Wasn't going for an overtake there, but Capelli cannot take that corner. Leaving a lot of everyone tripping over themselves here in that section. Because some people can do it, some people can't. I get the draft. I already have straight line speed, but every little helps in making up for getting held up in the slow sectors. It's not helping us try to get back to the points, of course. Like, we're definitely dependent on more of the front runners making, you know, serious errors to get back to them. Or we just need to hope that there's an incredible battle going on in the pack to try to get back up to them. Damn, this guy can't get through there. Ooh, yellow. It's cleared. I said people can't get that corner right here. Possibly a freebie, but I don't, looks like they got it cleared before we arrived. Didn't see anyone off. Okay. Come on. We might be losing too much time behind these guys, but we're definitely not gaining time. Even if we're dropping the hammer slightly behind us. Ooh, bit sideways there. or around the outside doesn't work like that there. Though it's possible in that corner. Not possible in the one we're about to come up to. Especially when you get the push. I think nearly Capelli's getting held up by the... Was it a Ligier in front of us? No, it's not a Ligier. Oh no, it's like, sure, it could be a Tyrrell. Madness. Either they're having a good race or they're having a poor race, or we've met somewhere in the middle. I think I see Senna in my mirror as well. So he's making his way through the field. Perhaps we can use him as a pick for trying to get through these guys. You know, if I was to consider a teammate, I'd hold him up as much as possible. And make sure Mansell gets a good point haul and ensure that Senna doesn't get any. Ooh, line him up. This is one of the naturally aspirated cars. The reason I don't drive the turbo cars. Too much power. Or, well. Yeah, the turbo cars definitely had more power. But as much how this power is delivered rather than the sheer amount of it. You know, obviously that comes into play. Come on, stick you bastard. That worked. Taking advantage of how Capelli cannot take the last sector. They're definitely faster there. Now we see if we can get through this guy a bit better. Because it looked like he was holding Capelli. So judging by that, it should be relatively straightforward, but nothing is relatively straightforward in this series, as you see. Because this should have been a relatively straightforward points scoring race, but well, we saw what happened. Take a bit of grass, as you do. Honestly thought there was a bit more curb there. I've been deceived. Nearly went for the gap there, but too late. We got sideways there. Definitely put him under pressure anyway. Oh, can we do it around the outside? And we do it. Somehow. Mostly capitalizing on his little error over the curbs on the way into that section. Right. We lose it ourselves. On to Cheever. Yeah, this guy actually raced an F1. Actually having a good race. The equipment is not the best for that team, so to be honest, ahead of the guys they're ahead of, outside of the outliers such as myself and the Williams, Senna. He's having a decent race. Taking advantage of the calamity. Seconds up the road though. Now what equipment he's in, that's not a small gap to bridge. can see across the track actually going into that corner, the big train up front with the points scorers. So give a visual representation of how far back we are. Wouldn't be impossible actually if we had more laps. I reckon we could actually bridge up to those guys. But I don't think we have the time in this race. Poor middle sector there. That's not helping this chase. Just to try and get up to whatever position Cheever's in. Whatever we're fighting for here. Yeah, first corner is not a second gear turn. The line is just too tight there. It's sort of deceivingly tight. Maybe I'm just approaching it wrong. I'm probably approaching it wrong. So take whatever I say about it with a grain of salt. Your mileage may vary. You might actually be good at this thing. And say, no, it's not. This is the actual line, and yes, you can take it in a second. Cars ahead have gone into a battle. That helps us because we could do them slowing themselves down. Looks like one of the West cars. West actually had a turbocharged engine this season. You know, it wasn't just all about Honda and Ferrari with the turbo engines this year. There was a Zaxby's and Weston and Arrow's Megatron. Just the best name for an engine in Formula 1. Though the fact that you haven't probably heard about those engines mean, yeah, that sort of says all you need to know about them. That us and our judge can just pass them. Being the technical term for just blowing by someone. You know, with how quickly we've caught up to him, he's probably got issues. The engine is probably blown up, I imagine. You don't catch up to a car that quickly. Still though, he managed to hold up Cheever. Cheever caught him in a bad part of the lap, whereas we got lucky. We were able just to blow by him easily. In the distance, but that won't really do much for our race. Interesting, I haven't seen Senna catch up on us. I definitely saw him earlier, or at least I believe I saw him. Red and white are popular colours on the grid. Well, anyway, it's not unlike by 2015, everyone had black. That definitely was a thing. Usually see the end of the leading pack. Oh well, probably the third place pack. Because I can guarantee you the Prost is at least a 10-second lead or something like that now. It's just what they do. Whoa. Small bit of wheel spin and sliding there. Deceptive little fast flick. Those curbs, if you catch them wrong, can be deadly. It looks like we definitely are catching up to this pack ahead, which is good. Seems the Ferraris are still there and trying to free themselves. Ooh. Just keep it on track, everything's fine. Yeah, Cheever's having the bloody race of his life. Look at him go! And 1 lap to go. Oh dear. Screw it. Go on, Cheever. Go for it. Receive the glory. Things you never thought you'd hear in this series. Oh, it looks like one of Lowe's has gone tangled up in this battle. Is that an arrows ahead that's essentially holding everyone up? Could be. However the hell they ended up ahead of these guys in the first place. There's the West with their useless engine. Up here's the Lotus with its competent engine. But they ran out of money, so they got fancy suspension, decent engine, but not much else in that car. Also, actually, these guys getting lapped. Doesn't matter if they are, because I spent too much time trying to figure out if they're getting lapped or not. And have undone all my good work this race. Right there. So much for that. I believe they deserve that. Because that was stupid. Anywho, that will be the Mexico Grand Prix held in Buenos Aires, because there's no good mod tracks for Mexico City. We came in some position. It was probably shite. And it looked like it's hit. I'm also going to get shanked in the paddock for that drive. But yeah, that was that, and yeah, makes up for Monaco, doesn't it? Right? We all would have rather seen me die there. I'm sure it would. Anyway, roll on.